Thank you.
Where'd you go to get it?
I went to my girlfriend's like salon lady actually. She's really good, so.
And I usually do it myself, so it's, I like seeing other people's haircut because my girl had someone doing it for me.
What the? God, there's a thing.
Morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't act like I'm a good student.
You lie.
I've never been to the office.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
had a detention.
Uh-huh. What else have you not done?
I haven't had a detention. I actually have.
I can believe that. Guys. I know. We've seen it. We're like, oh,
You don't say this
I'm not. I'll wait. They know it's me. You won't.
Say
You won't.
Yeah, he said he was
Never
gonna
say
act
black.
like
And you're like, oh,
41.
mine.
Him.
I can't say any
That's
other
why
words.
you're recording, but
Because I forgot exactly what it was.
say hello to the camera.
Had something to do with teaching?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all
I have to
just-
record myself. So,
You got
don't mind.
You actually have to.
Why do you want to help?
Shut up.
Why?
Why are you doing
Yeah,
Sin City was in.
that, though?
that's for me professional use sake.
I just burst up the camera. Chill. I can't hear you.
This kid Jacob doesn't have a Lincoln account. Where's your controller?
Do you think I'm a rich?
Oh my god. You're pushing.
You make these I won't let you charge Microsoft.
It's already. No way, you barely made
How's
it.
everyone doing this morning?
Oh, you because there's a verification.
Alina, do you have any more food?
Mine?
Did you?
You
That'd
do?
be nice and let you use mine.
I don't want to use yours.
No, that's fine. A good shot because of, not that mine.
We have to write our
I
fucking
scored
narrative today.
130
Wait, you want to
points,
play for
but-
him? I have so much.
Don't throw mine. My city, you're better for me.
You're saying I probably should.
He probably has just like the default setting. He probably has the default setting.
Alright, we're gonna get started with today. No, we're gonna get started. We're gonna start with our do now on soccer day. The room is Lewis 2767 has a change. We're gonna start with our sports narrative today. So the do now is focused on trying to remember all those techniques. So
It's every
we'll
day
start
in
with
this class.
Do now, and we're gonna get going from there.
It's literally every day in this class, Shalom.
What?
You need to
That my Wi-Fi goes out.
No, you need to continue.
And it's always this exact spot.
The Giants and the Patriots.
Get it, switch people. Yes,
Is
kid.
that what you get?
Bro, my Chromebook isn't fucking working.
Yes.
I don't care, just switch spots.
Yeah. Brian, come here real quick.
Me? Oh, what did I do?
Scoliosis.
Look up.
Summon.
Where are you going?
I'm going to get scoliosis
Yo,
tested.
Brian.
Why?
He's doing like banging.
I am sorry.
Is everybody getting it done?
I have no idea. I didn't know that was a thing today. So,
I am not going to have to done.
but the more important thing is you gotta get your do now on. There is nobody has answered yet.
I'm gonna stop at the tech office because my
I'm
Chromebook is
good.
every day in that exact spot.
It's good. Good option.
You can refuse and have them. They're so skipping. Have them right there. They're so phantom. Just call them what your name is. Sigma. Give me your heart.
Jokic. He said it was being long or something like that. I'm not saying everything. Yeah. Brian said he was in the
No, have you guys started? You guys excited for the game today too?
Well done.
Although that team
Soccer
beat
game?
the first place team,
Well,
but
Broncos
in
game?
the higher seeds, so you should be able to beat both.
I wanna go, but
Really?
I wanna go.
team.
Yeah, so that'd be exciting to see that so far away. Hopefully, if you guys win, the next one is closer. Do you ever-
Where's Sean at?
Do you ever handle?
Right there.
Another
So mad at
30
it.
seconds on the do now. I have point two. Currently, you're crumbled.
Hey guys, I'm gonna watch cheerleaders.
Currently, you're crumbled. Can you take your
Never see you.
Sorry.
Ichi-san, yeah. Arigato.
I'll do our do now. Do the do now.
Come on, Google.
We're good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so in the do now, I asked you guys to just a recap of some of the narrative techniques. Where's my marker? So let's get a couple just on the board together to start. What were some of the techniques that we talked about? What do you got, Lamar?
No one. Just 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. I thought you were busy. Remember some of the narrative techniques?
Metaphors.
Wait.
What were you saying?
Metaphor.
Metaphor. So that is a narrative technique.
And similes.
Similes
You stole
also.
mine.
Those are
Figurative language.
figurative language. Yes.
Oh,
So metaphors.
almost
Similes. We're
choked.
gonna put these together here. There's a huge list of them. You could go on Google and you could Google figurative
wait.
language. I don't know. But figurative language,
Imagery?
imagery, that all goes. This is kind of how you use this idea that we're talking about, show, don't tell. So when we first started with the narratives and we had said, don't say, oh, the boy was mad. You actually show them what made them mad. Or I think the example we used was the boy was hungry. Yeah, detail. This all adds detail, right? So the idea of show, don't tell. Instead of saying the boy was hungry, we said like his stomach was growling and as he stared at the last piece of pizza, dying to grab a slice. That shows that he's hungry and has detail here. The other thing that we talked about was the plot, right? So everything has to have the beginning, the middle, and the end. So when you go to write your narrative, you should be having some type of introduction, the middle part of it, and an end. Like how our story kind of started with introduction, who Bill Parcells is, kind of went into detail on this idea that he's like anxious or that he's really dedicated to his craft, and those types of things. It goes into the theme of that story about just the pressure that people in professional sports face. So the fact that they face pressure was the theme. So in yours, you probably have to have a theme as well.
Guys, what's an example of a metaphor?
It's a big part of it.
I forgot.
We also talked about foreshadowing, right? That foreshadowing, the way that the story used it was the fact that they kind of led to this greater thing that's happening at the end of the week. Everything that they talked about led up to the big game that happens on Sunday. And everything that he talked about in terms of the footage that they watched and they did, all led towards that big kind of moment. And they foreshadowed kind of what was going to happen
I ate that right up.
during that big game. Let me just delete this real quick so we can get. Now to get you started on your own narrative, just to go over the expectation here. Under the classwork, I put your sports narrative. You open this up with me here, under week 10. So our task in 450 words, so this is like writing your feature story, that you're gonna craft your own sports narrative. What I mean by that is that, like how this story that we read was about Bill Parcells and the pressure that he faces, you're gonna pick an event in your own life that's sports related and try to describe it. you're gonna have like a theme to it too. So like the theme of the story was about the pressure in professional sports. Try to stick to some theme that you have with your own narrative. In your personal narrative, it should be something that happened in your own life, kind of self-explanatory in that sense. And when crafting your narrative, use the techniques that we learned about. So the things that we just talked about, the figurative language in terms of the foreshadowing. You guys came up with a list of like similes and metaphors. Those are all excellent. You can use those. The details, the figurative language creates the details. So instead of just saying the boy was hungry, you can use that kind of show, don't tell. And then you kind of have to have that plot. You have to have that beginning, the middle, and end. It builds up to something, and that's what foreshadowing ends up doing. Okay, that's what we need to get started. I think we have what we need. Let's try to start on that, and then I can help you as we go. You need it. Interested in what you're going to choose because you have such a eclectic soccer career. You have one in mind? Could even tell you something about this latest trip to the Final Four here. But it'd be cool for, because you're on the national team, right? It'd be cool if sports nerd had on.
So you actually want to do?
Yeah.
What do you think of it right now? You play football? What position do you play?
I was taking such a good
Is this yours too? Wide receiver, so do you have any good stories?
I love
Wide
it.
receiver.
He's not gonna be here.
Did you play this year on the middle school team?
Nah.
Do you have any touchdown catches? Do you have any big stops?
I'm gonna write about.
Think about a little bit in terms of those things, like specific memories that you may have.
Does there have to be a title?
Does that have to be what?
A title?
If you put the title in, sure. I don't think.
They gave me a brain.
It's probably the. Yes. Yes.
What would I mostly be like trying to figure out?
So
bathroom.
you need to start with your narrative. So you have to pick a time in your life that's sports related. You're a football player, so I'm assuming it's probably gonna be football. So then pick a time when like you feel like there is much impact on kind of your sports life, or maybe just a big moment that you remember, something that has some significance.
Wait, are we writing about ourselves?
Be by yourself, yeah.
Okay.
Aiden, did you go against 2 weeks ago? Who did we go against 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. For football. Game 2. Yeah.
So the Scansett game seems like a big moment in your life.
Yeah, that
Why?
that was the one where I had to push myself over the line, and then I ended up getting hurt.
You ended up getting hurt. So it's a big moment.
I like messed up my finger.
That's big. I remember that too. Actually, you coming in and talking about it. It was a big moment. That's. I think you could do your narrative, and then you could even use their foreshadowing technique on like the fact that you didn't know that you were gonna get hurt.
It just happened.
Yeah, and then like your theme could be just around this idea of like trauma in sports or something, or if you wanted to make it more happy, just like maybe this idea of like overcoming that injury, something like that. I like that a lot. They give you a whole new Chromebook.
So how I was started off is like the time I felt like. How do you would you say like in time in your life you would feel like what again?
So you're gonna pick a theme. So I suggested like around those things you could either do like your theme could be trauma in sports, or it could even be something like happier, and it could be like overcoming that injury.
Oh, so like what I would say, like why I think like why I think about the trauma in sports is like this, like you don't know what could happen.
You can incorporate that into it. Remember, use your techniques. So your show don't tell. Things like foreshadowing. You can foreshadow this big moment that something is gonna happen in the game. I suggest probably getting started a little bit, and then I can come back and help edit through that process. Lamar, what are you working on? Or in terms of your, I should ask you, do you have your story that you were gonna write about?
I'm just trying to put it in my words.
In words? Do you have your moment though?
Yes, I do.
What's your moment?
Just trying to write something that I can go back when I first started to play sports.
So your first sports memory?
Yeah.
I was almost thinking that you were gonna choose your unified sports.
I was gonna include that as well. But it's like maybe like more to the middle end.
So what I would suggest is picking something small and describing in more detail. So instead of it being from the very first time you started sports to now, pick a specific moment.
You got scored 6.
Like, do you have a favorite sport, personal favorite sports memory?
Why do you think I'm checking the group chat right now?
Swim, yes.
You guys,
So swim, what was a personal favorite memory in swimming?
When I first started, it seemed I didn't practice at all, and yet I was still good at it.
So maybe it's just this idea of being good at swimming, trying a new sport, and succeeding. That's something you can write about right here, right?
I can even jump.
I like that a lot.
I can't jump either.
Maybe
I
I
can
can
barely
start.
do cartwheel.
I can't even do a handstand.
Because the my cheer coach, one of my cheer coaches in the middle
Where you
school
going?
cheer coach is coming to
I'm looking
school
about
Friday.
that game, the last game.
You're for field hockey?
Yeah, because I read a goal.
Oh.
I might write about that.
Very
Like, I
nice.
don't know how to start it. Do I say like?
It was a windy day at Garden High School.
Okay.
So you could like.
Was it windy though?
It was.
Should I write that? A windy day on our home field.
I stole that because one of the famous golf stories was they started with a windy day at Augusta, and Tiger Woods like walked up to the green or whatever.
Was it windy like that?
What you could start with though is like this, like maybe you start with a small blurb of your field hockey career, like you started playing field hockey when, and then so you started. It's only been a year, and then you start talking about kind of like the anticipation of scoring your first goal.
And
Start.
I could easily beat you in field hockey. I could.
Alina was good when she
What?
I don't know why you played. You were like the best.
I do, yes.
I know.
All right, perfect.
Does it mean? But
All right. You're being summoned.
I actually was good
Hated.
for middle school.
Were you at doctor?
It's cause like the one game that like the ball actually got past the goalie, and when I was in, it's cause I threw up like an hour before, and Sanford still put me in.
I probably before you go, take my butt out and the phone away, so he doesn't get mad. What are you thinking of? Well, if you can't, then just use it.
It was like a scientific information.
You ever play sports?
Yeah.
What sports do you play?
Football.
Football? Do you have a favorite sports memory from football?
1926
Do you not play golf at all?
1923.
Because you're
You
big,
freaking
I
old
remember you saying you love golf.
Bro's 100 years old.
It's gone.
Don't fucking do that again.
So that would be an awesome
Don't do that again.
story. How many people have all of those?
You're weird. You're banned.
I've never had all of one. Mindy
Yeah, but
was
like-
there. So when you say it was from 30 yards out, was
Okay,
it like
Nelly.
you chipped in, or did you play?
Nelly be doing that.
But when Nelly does it, it's actually funny.
Do the roar!
Yeah.
Because she's doing it to be serious. But Nelly's just doing it as a joke.
Was it the first time you ever played?
It was.
Like this is writing the story itself. Right?
No, not.
want
Bad
to
face, bro.
You cannot catch me saying, bro.
Let's see.
Wait, you say ew. You can't say
Yes. Be like,
Sports narrative?
Sports narrative, yep.
I'd be like, huh? Or like, just do it. It's another anime thing.
So what's another?
I like that a lot.
Hey, you.
What do you choose as video?
Hey you. Hey you. Yeah you. Would you like to be my Sigma?
Please stop.
Yes.
Do you have a moment?
Oh yeah. Yes.
What was the moment again?
I'm
So that could be an error.
I'm gonna Phantom Taxi.
How do I delete
She's so-
Microsoft accounts?
Oh,
How do I delete?
Girl.
Yeah, because both of them are
So
token.
let's refrain from doing
I'm gonna Phantom Taxi.
that. For you too, like you're really into watching sports too. Like you could
Yes.
write about watching some of these championships.
Can I be your Discord kid?
I don't remember.
All on freaking film.
Like,
So you don't remember anything about like the Super Bowls?
I already got the first sentence down.
Or
I was like,
like
you, hey you. You're
Ollie,
so
what are you doing
stupid.
right now?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I was 6.
Are you doing around boxes?
I was 6. I was 6.
Bro, this is all on film, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what if this was like the.
Yeah, that can be a little.
Yeah,
I
Kim's
would
birthday.
What if this goes to Facebook? What was it going on his YouTube channel?
You played sports growing up.
This goes on his YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm searching that up.
Mr.
and I'm
Lewis.
gonna.
Does this go on your YouTube?
I got
No, this is for the program.
What program?
The purple program. It's
Who will be watching this video?
Don't worry about it. Do your work first.
Yo, we're about to get.
I don't know what to write
No,
about.
I lost my train of thought.
Write
You're
about
saying that
how
you played
statistically.
Yeah, I
sports.
played that.
Write about.
That's his narrative.
Write about that. Write about how
Getting
you
concussion.
came from adventure to
You don't remember the head?
When you were in
You don't remember going to hospital or
a
anything?
lot.
Nah, I don't.
On varsity because I wasn't there. Middle school I played.
Well,
There was a
this
day
show.
where I played both middle school and varsity. That was
Yeah.
before. I
I
like
remember that.
I fell during the.
Esports.
Y'all need me on that photo.
Dude, last year I
But
could barely
you were,
play.
didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
you were
like-
bringing
No, because we
this
were on the
up?
bench.
I was
We were on the bench together.
That's-
Cam.
Daddy.
Esports is a thing.
I don't really.
Nigga, who the
My
what's their
dad,
content?
my dad, like, that's
You
what he
gotta
called
get
me.
creative.
But still, you would call your dad daddy?
I have to. He gets pissed if I
I'm
say
gonna
that.
do in 2 years.
You call your dad daddy.
I have to. He gets pissed.
XC.
He called his father that. He said.
I think there's more to
You
it.
have to.
Hell.
You have to call your dad
Wow.
daddy.
Yes, he calls his father that.
Like, I get it if you're like a woman and you say like,
You gonna graduate with
Like
something like
John
that.
No,
John.
my dad.
Hell.
My dad would
You
get
graduate
pissed.
with Haley.
hell.
He would get pissed
That's
if I just walked up to him.
I could
That's
not.
probably the best
bro.
one.
I could not.
No.
So, mister, you want to do that so far?
Just, I will, yeah.
Oh, we
I'm very interested.
Think
in it.
more.
No.
Yeah.
So I like this a lot.
You're so
And I like
skinny.
this idea
You're
that
so
you had
fantastic.
showed you how to
I
swim.
just wanna be your Sigma.
If you were to describe them, how would you describe them?
No.
He told me to keep my shoulders square and to keep my elbows straight.
So instead of saying he taught you proper form, start
Use my
describing
jutsu on
it.
you.
Like the first time you picked up the club and he's telling you, keep your shoulders square,
You just
keep
say
it straight. My grandfather taught me how to
Like,
play
is
too,
it-
and his whole thing
You
was
just
telling
be
me,
like this,
like,
like-
keep your head down. He's like, and I would take it and hit it, and I'd like just shank it, and he'd be like, oh, you
I
see,
know my golfers did a little like twerk thing before
My
they
favorite
hit
word
the
ever.
balls.
like
You.
like the wiggle. It's
Yeah.
supposed to release
you.
pressure.
If you like you.
I would slice it so bad.
Yeah, well, that's, when you slice this, because you're like going wiggle, but like.
Yeah, I've never,
Good.
I never seen it. The
But-
only reason I never got into golf is my dad and like more kids in the house.
Interesting.
He hates it.
So Start with that description.
Sorry, I get nervous when I'm around daddy.
Nigga, what?
That's
Yo, that's
quite the way to go out, I guess.
say bye bye to my career.
Andrew, how you doing right now?
First year
I don't know what to write about either.
Hold on.
Do you have you played soccer?
Except for the last one.
Do you have specific moments in playing soccer?
That's embarrassing because she is such a I don't know. She's literally the imposter of the team, you know?
Yes.
Jaylee, me and Jaylee were, I was talking to her on the bench, and she told me I needed to stop chewing on my mouth.
Do you have specific moments
I
that
don't know.
you
No, she's so funny.
I'm sorry, but people who get flavored mouth guards are nasty.
It wasn't flavored, it was just. Yeah, flavored is disgusting. Randy got flavored ones, end of the season, but no, my mouth.
Do you have a specific goal that you remember the most?
I don't know what happened to it. I kind of started like disintegrating. There's only half of my mouth was connected. Like mouth guard stopped right here on the side and stopped like right here on the side. By then.
Somebody could have
If
football.
you're- Is there a soccer game that you remember the
I
most?
think I
So
I think
describe
I'll
that
film
game.
myself.
think who needs to come back.
Describe.
I don't have a clue.
Describe that
Actually, I
game.
do. But
One that you remember
because,
the one that you remember the most.
actually, I don't have a pick. I don't like it.
Wait, so am I basically just writing about my hockey career? Yeah. Oh, that's a beat.
Was it like your high school game or your middle school?
Is that close enough?
I mean, if you tag it,
I didn't mean to upset Master.
Bro, I mean, just shut up at this point, please. Just stop.
Alina, don't shut up.
So that could be a
She, what do we need?
this, are you a huge Barcelona fan?
I'm literally hitting the green.
So you're just
Okay, now I'm about to start.
So why was it so
Alina, I'm about to be my friend. Alina.
What?
So you can, I can do the basics. This attraction.
What are you doing?
We gotta get those.
Taking your phone?
I would suggest you have them. Start trying to jot down some ideas first. 'Cause I know that you struggle with that process. Jot down some ideas first, and then you can get going. I'll come back around. You doing okay? So you've never had a sports experience ever? Never gone to a game?
Don't
This is how much you got.
Seems tough. So you don't remember, you know you played hockey, but you don't remember a single thing about it? Someone just told you one day that you played hockey when you were little?
I remember this from fifth grade.
Okay, so we can work with this a little
That's
bit.
good, right?
You never, like,
I remember
trying to
this
think
from
of some
fifth
other
grade. High filter mode or whatever.
like basketball or something. Like, you never did cross country, never skied or anything, snowboard.
Thank you.
So that could potentially be an area.
Bro, one of my keys is
The
broken.
fact that he was gonna teach you how to snowboard.
My B key.
Were you excited about this?
Snowboarding was really fun.
So were you, how old were you?
Stop talking like that. Stop it.
So I can
It's
picture a story of
This guy right
like
here.
a theme being like, just
Okay,
not
he's
only it
definitely.
being
No,
just,
that's
like,
crazy.
the excitement
He's
of a
definitely
10-year-old
just
trying to
using
like,
that
oh,
way.
I'm gonna learn to snowboard from my, is it older brother? How much older?
Oh my god.
It's not my fault.
That's horrendous, Noah.
What do you mean?
Like
So
how
when you were 10, he was like 20? So I'm picturing a story now of like
It's really not
older
that
brother. Do you look
Give me
up
a
to him at all or anything? So a person you really look up to. Something.
Voice impressions are easy.
To be.
You?
Yeah.
And then do me.
What?
To do Alina, all you have to do is make your voice deeper and make it sound like a man.
This is
You
kind
kind
of
of
literally
sound
look
like
like
a
a
female
like
Edward.
that's a cool, very cool
Oh.
experience to describe.
Wait, what he said?
I will.
I like that a lot.
Her name is definitely Zimbabwe. She's
I think
from
you have some.
Word that.
You just started telling me
No,
the
go.
story, so start
She's
with that. Describing this idea of you being at your grandmother's.
Joshua used to call Ivy that all the time in 7th grade.
And even falling to be part of it.
Kevin Hart's difficult voice too.
I would start with that. Don't worry about the 450 to start. Just get that idea down.
Sean was really easy.
Did I ever check in and see what you guys were writing about? I know you were doing field hockey. What are you writing about?
Cheer.
Cheer?
How last year I broke my foot, so I had to stop doing it.
That can be a very good story. Very traumatic experience too. I like that a lot. Not so much.
I don't know how to put it into words.
Mister?
So start with
But I don't know how to start it.
start with just maybe jotting down some notes.
It's kinda
Beginning,
like-
middle, and end to this. So put 3 bullet points, and then how you're gonna start the story, the middle part of it, and then how you're gonna end it. And then we'll fill in the gaps. Maddie, what are you writing about? Field hockey. Hey, is that a time when you scored a goal?
Talking about my assists.
Oh, your assist. So, alright. It's almost like you could play
What
it
the
off.
hell?
Did you assist for a goal?
No.
Oh, okay. That would have been cool if we did that.
Wait, Mr. Lewis, does this have to be done by today?
Not today.
Okay.
We'll probably spend some time double blocking. But hopefully and definitely by the end of the week.
What was it?
Yeah.
What did you need, Noah?
I'm at
Wait, what do you mean
86
it says like
words.
you got it?
Perfect.
No, like I passed.
Let me
it,
see
or she
how
got
many
it.
words I have.
That's your assist.
I described the form.
Damn, I have 120 words already. Damn.
8 images.
Has Randy ever scored?
Then maybe you can start describing. You go in the actually.
Brett,
You remember the first time?
this kid is fucking up how to delete a Microsoft
Describe
account.
knees weak.
were shaking.
Yeah. Knees weak, palms sweaty.
Eminem song.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I think that's an excellent job. You got it.
I'm telling you, I'm a good writer. I just need to.
Like really bad.
What?
What do you think's doing?
That's gonna be my new.
Oh, you're changing it to be ready.
That's not fun, huh?
Wait, Brody?
That's a special ed.
Bang right off the side. Amazing.
You didn't say anything.
That's for writers.
Did you think about the Super Bowl?
As I go on.
Why is it like
Alright, that's. I would start with thinking about the beginning.
Diaphragm is such a weird world. We're gonna do like this stuff.
It's not even.
Kind of.
I see his soul.
Diaphragm is such a weird word to spell.
It is. You had like a big family party.
Wait, was it December? No, it was November.
So maybe that's.
Alina.
Is that
What?
You gotta raise up
you
the
don't
camera.
normally do?
No, it's like it used to be.
Wait, are you in?
Yeah.
No.
Am I?
Yeah.
She's not.
But, so it's a tradition too. It's a sports
Are you
tradition.
Lamar?
Oh
no.
Excuse me?
Jaden's in the camera.
Excuse me? Jaden isn't in the camera.
Oh, no.
We're making fun.
Aiden
It's
is.
only half this half the room.
I want you.
Aiden's in the camera.
No, it's basically from Lamar
I'm
to
a good writer, I'm not distracted.
You're a good writer. I am seeing right now. You are a very good writer.
Just move it. I'm more of a specialist.
Wait, what year was last year?
28-22.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're missing assignments from this year.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
I don't know what to write.
I'll help you.
It's a one day.
Talk about your goal.
Who has the team? I know, but I'm talking about like my